So we carry on going through. It's the formation of offences now and the evidence that they relied on to enact these offences in the first place. And they have obviously dragged him into a police watch house and sat him down for an electronically recorded interview on a suspect person, ERISP. 26. In his ERISP on 30 July 2020, a transcript of which was tendered, a long, largely incomprehensible, rambling series of answers were provided to questioning police. The defendant denied that he was inciting people to violence, stating, open quote, "I'm telling people not to cower in the corner at the side of police, to stand up to the police, but at the same time, do not raise a hand against the police. Don't be belligerent," end quote. 3. ERISP interview, Ewa Kiskonen, dated 30 July 2020, page 25, paragraph 25. Now, I haven't seen all the evidence that was submitted. I could not be bothered reading 2,500 pages and watching 13 videos that would have taken 13 hours to watch. The unbelievable thing is that the police honestly believe that the court's going to take the time out to adhere to the thousands and thousands of documents that have been put before the court, wherein the police have spoken in a manner that is completely biased to the evidence. 27. He was also asked whether he believed police should be hanged, to which he replied, no. Now, on the matter of hanging, that's capital punishment. And at a federal level, no, we don't want capital punishment reintroduced as law in Australia. But we're not talking about Australian law. We're talking about the international laws of armed conflict and international humanitarian law, of which you are the ones in guardianship. You're the ones that took an oath. You're the ones that sipped from that poison chalice. So is it capital punishment? No. He is directly correct when he speaks of a military tribunal. He is also correct in that there are international rules that are internationally agreed upon. And to go outside of those rules would, as the United Nations knock on your door and you deny them visitation, become an international embarrassment and possibly an international problem that could open the door to warfare. And you might be doing that on the ground at a street level. 28. He was asked questions about the role of the, quote, military tribunal, end quote. He was referred to question 217. I was just going to ask, what would happen to one of your members if they acted outside the military tribunal, if they went ahead and hung the police? Who's asking the question? Is it you, Detective Senior Constable Reason? Answer, oh, they wouldn't be one of our group, that's for sure. Question 218. Is there some sort of repercussion? Answer, yeah. They would face a military tribunal themselves and probably lose their head. Question 219. Through you guys? Answer, no, through you guys. And then question 220 goes on to the next page, so we'll entertain it when we flip slides. An example on the table. In modern history, Slobodan Milosevic would probably be one of those examples. He was jailed at The Hague. He was taken to The Hague for his international criminal offences. This is something that has a credence in history. It has changed over time, including things like Nuremberg trials that have affected it. And it's a general consensus between countries to act in a certain way. And when they're put into conventions and treaties, there are reasons for that to occur in the first place. And the ignorance of an employee or agent that just follows orders from commanders who may or may not know, who give or issue orders, is directly relevant. Just following orders was no excuse at law. And when it comes to what will follow soon within this affidavit, this preliminary hearing, will outline the very reasons, in my belief, New South Wales denied access to United Nations visitation into its facilities. The dangerous and slippery slope is fixated persons unit acting as state protection squad and using forensic psychiatry in a bid to change people's minds over their beliefs. And very clearly in the wording in the document so far have we seen a very direct attempt to use these avenues at law to enforce a situation rather than reveal one. It is as if the police are creating something that isn't there for fear of something that is there. That's a dark slope to slide down if you let that happen in your courtrooms. And Justice Julia Lonergan is very starkly pointing it out. It's a credit that the document has been made publishable in all its aspects, because this is a very key point in the turning of what is a crime into pre-crime, into the abuse of the state, and comprehending and understanding from a historical point of view how then from a legal point of view things happened, into a spiritual point of view over why these things happened and over what, demonstrate that standing in international law very clearly. And it cannot be understated in that a recognition at some point that this is an administered territory and you're working for administrators that have administrative duty over the state of New South Wales.